future continuous tense. Sentence structure: subject plus will be or shall be plus V4 plus other words. I shall be reading this book. We shall be reading this book. You will be reading this book. He will be reading this book. She will be reading this book. They will be reading this book. Negative sentences. Sentence structure: subject plus will or shall plus not plus be plus V4 plus other words. I shall not be reading this book. We shall not be reading this book. You will not be reading this book. He will not be reading this book. She will not be reading this book. They will not be reading this book. Interrogative sentences. Yes or no type questions. Sentence structure: will or shall plus subject plus be plus V4 plus other words. Shall I be reading this book? Shall we be reading this book? Will you be reading this book? Will he be reading this book? Will she be reading this book? Will they be reading this book? Interrogative sentences. WH type questions. Sentence structure: WH word plus will or shall plus subject plus be plus V4 plus other words. When shall I be reaching there? What shall we be doing there? Where will you be living there? Why will they be going there? Activity: frame questions for the following sentences. Interrogative sentences. Sentence structure: won't or shan't plus subject plus be plus V4 plus other words. Shan't I be reading this book? Shan't we be reading this book? Won't you be reading this book? Won't he be reading this book? Won't she be reading this book? Won't they be reading this book?